Most Canadians have driven to the East Coast or the West Coast, but how many can say they've driven up north to the Arctic coast? Last year, Chevrolet Canada hosted a special trip to find new roads with their new 2019 Silverado pickup truck. And they couldn't have picked a cooler destination to test out the vehicle. Located in the Northwest Territories, the Inuvik-Tuktoyaktuk Highway was officially open to the public in November 2017. This new highway allows for year-round access, making it Canada's first all-weather public road to the Arctic Ocean. Before this highway was built, an ice road in the winter months was the only way to drive up to Tuktoyaktuk. Here's a recap of this adventure with tips to know before you go on the most epic northern road trip ever. Okay, so first things first, what to wear and what to bring. You are going up to the top of the world, so pack windproof and insulating gear, especially if you plan on going out late at night. You'll also want to pack light. While checked-in luggage was possible, you may have to lug your carry-on on and off the plane a couple of times. When we arrived in Inuvik, our home base for this trip, the mayor warmly welcomed us and gave us a tour himself. Here are some of the places we visited. Our first stop was the town's most photographed building and landmark, the Our Lady of Victory Church, more commonly known as the Igloo Church. We made a quick stop to see the scenic Mackenzie River, which flows to the Arctic Ocean. Our next stop was the Inuvik Community Greenhouse, North America's most northern commercial greenhouse that allows residents to take advantage of the 24-hour sunlight periods to grow their own produce and plants. For dinner, we went to Alistein's, a town favorite that serves local caught fish, reindeer dishes, and specialty desserts. Even though we had to be up early the next day, getting out of my warm bed at 3 a.m. was totally worth it. I've seen the Northern Lights before, but nothing compares to seeing them out here. As a road trip enthusiast, I was beyond excited to drive up to Tuk. The Inuvik-Tuktoyaktuk Highway is like no other road. It stretches through 71 kilometers of land owned by the Inuvialuit, and the roadbed sits 2 meters above the ground to prevent the permafrost from melting. This isn't a flat and straight gravel road. The trees disappear just after getting out of Inuvik, and the slightly soft, spongy road winds through breathtaking tundra landscapes surrounded by lakes of different sizes, eventually leading you to the top of the world. Located approximately 150 kilometers north of Inuvik and on the shores of the Beaufort Sea, Tuktoyaktuk is a small Inuvialuit community and the first Indigenous community in Canada to officially revert to its traditional name back in 1950, which means looks like a caribou. When we arrived, the Tuk community also warmly welcomed us. During our short but incredibly memorable time in Tuk, we dipped our feet in the Arctic Ocean. We hopped on a boat to see the Pingos, which are cone-shaped hills with a core of ice. Tuk has the world's largest concentration of pingos and has the highest one in Canada. Because of its unique Arctic landform, it is protected and designated as a national landmark. After our boat ride, we made our way to a sod house, which was super cozy inside, and listened to stories by the elders. The community continued to extend their hospitality by inviting us to dinner, where I got to try traditional food like muktuk. What was also incredible was getting the opportunity to see the Tuktoyaktuk Siglit drummers and dancers performance.
So in the spirit of reconciliation, we very much appreciate it.
The dynamic performers are committed to keeping the legends, stories, and traditions alive and thriving in their community. Meeting the people of Tuktoyaktuk and being able to learn more about their traditions, culture, and lifestyle was a moving experience, and I thank the Tuk community for sharing it with us. The drive back with the sunset was absolutely stunning. On our last day, we visited the Inuvik Satellite Station facility, which is uniquely positioned north of the Arctic Circle to track and receive data in real time from polar orbiting satellites for scientific mapping, weather, surveillance, and other purposes. We then had a little more fun with the trucks at a special closed course. The Inuvik to Tuktoyaktuk drive has to be one of the coolest Canadian adventures. It is unlike any other road trip. The unique terrain, the opportunity to connect with and learn from Indigenous communities, exploring a remote part of Canada that you don't usually see in travel guides. There are just so many reasons why I'd highly recommend this adventure, especially while it's still relatively undiscovered. As someone who loves trucks, driving the Chevrolet Silverado on this new Canadian highway was an unbelievably fun experience. So if you're looking to find new roads or new adventures, check out the Inuvik-Tuktoyaktuk Highway.